You know what's fascinating? Studies show that 85% of people admit to having imposter syndrome. Yet, we've been wrestling with these exact same feelings of inadequacy for thousands of years.
That's such an interesting connection to make, especially when we look at how ancient wisdom tackles these modern psychological challenges.
Well, let me share something remarkable about this parable. Of the talents, it's essentially providing a framework for handling both success and failure that modern psychologists are only now catching up to. The way it addresses fear-based decision-making is particularly relevant.
I've been thinking about how this connects to what researchers call approach avoidance conflict in modern psychology. The third servant's behavior is a classic example.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you know what's fascinating? Studies show that roughly 70% of employees report feeling some form of paralysis when it comes to taking initiative at work, just like that third servant.
The way this ancient text predicted modern workplace dynamics is pretty remarkable. How do you think this relates to our current culture of constant validation?
Well, here's what's really interesting. We've created this environment where, according to recent surveys, over 60% of young professionals expect monthly recognition for basic job duties. It's so far from that ancient wisdom about being useless servants, just doing our duty.
You know, that reminds me of something I observed in a corporate training session, this complete disconnect between expectations and responsibilities.
Let me build on that. The parable presents three distinct approaches to responsibility. And what's fascinating is how they mirror exactly what modern organizational psychologists identify as the three main responses to workplace challenges: engagement, strategic caution, and fear-based avoidance.
The psychological complexity in their responses really deserves a deeper look, especially considering our current mental health crisis.
You know what's particularly striking? Recent data shows that companies with cultures that encourage reasonable risk-taking, like those first two servants, show 23% higher innovation rates than those with fear-based cultures.
So that really validates the master's response in the parable, doesn't it? The emphasis on engagement over perfect execution.
Exactly right. And here's something else to consider. Studies of successful entrepreneurs show that their patterns match exactly with the first two servants. They take calculated risks, accept responsibility, and don't let fear of failure paralyze them.
The implications for modern leadership development are pretty significant when you frame it that way.
Well, let me share something that ties this all together. Research shows that organizations that focus on effort and engagement over natural talent see a 31% increase in employee satisfaction and productivity. It's exactly what the parable suggests about faithful use of whatever talents we have.
That really challenges our current meritocracy narrative, doesn't it? The focus on innate ability over dedicated effort.
And here's what I find most compelling. The invitation to join in your master's joy suggests something that modern positive psychology is just beginning to understand: that meaning and purpose are more powerful motivators than either fear or pride.
The way this ancient wisdom aligns with current research on workplace fulfillment is remarkable.
You know what this all points to? A fundamental truth about human nature that hasn't changed in thousands of years. We're still struggling with the same fears, the same need for validation, and the same potential for either paralysis or meaningful engagement.
So what do you think this means for the future of work and personal development?
Well, looking ahead, I think we're going to see a major shift back to these timeless principles. The data already shows that companies embracing these ancient wisdom principles, meaningful engagement, appropriate risk-taking, and purpose-driven work, are outperforming their peers by significant margins.
That's such a powerful way to bring this ancient wisdom into our modern context.
And perhaps that's the most important takeaway, whether we're talking about ancient parables or modern workplace dynamics. The key to overcoming both entitlement and paralysis is the same: meaningful engagement with whatever talents we've been given without either pride or fear getting in the way.